It is here. It is finally here. Woo! Cute confetti. What is here? The Lilato Jumpsuit PDF sewing pattern, of course. So that is what this video is going to be all about. I will be doing a sew along tutorial showing you how you can make this jumpsuit for yourself and of course look cute, right? Yes. So if you do not have the sewing pattern yet, I will provide that information so that you can grab it and make this for yourself. But if you have the sewing pattern and everything that you need, all your supplies, let's get into this video. So you will need your sewing pattern, of course, about 2.5 to 4 yards of fabric, depending on the view that you will be making. You will need a zipper, elastic, and of course, all of your sewing tools needed. So this is the general layout of the pattern pieces on your fabric. Only one piece will be on fold, and that is the back neck facing. And then for the pockets, we will be cutting out 4 pieces, but this is only 2 pieces. So once I cut that out, I will flip my pattern and find a space where I can cut out the other 2 pieces for the pockets. All right, once you are done with placing your pattern pieces, you can go ahead and start to cut out your pieces of fabric. Remember, only one of these pieces will be cut on fold, and that is the back facing. And you can see this is what the piece looks like. And when in doubt, just look at the markings and the writings on the pattern pieces. It should tell you how many you need to cut out. Here is the pocket piece. So I already cut out one pair of the pocket. And so now I have placed my other pocket on a piece of fabric that I didn't want to waste. So I will be cutting the second part of the pocket right there. So this pattern has 3 lengths: the shorts, the culottes, and the full jumpsuit. So I'm just marking out the culotte, I think that's how you say it, area, because that is what I will be working with. We have this line here for lengthening or shortening the crotch area. And so the marking that I just made for the culottes, I will pull up my hem and then cut it out there because I don't want to waste my sewing pattern just in case I want to use the full jumpsuit again. So these are the pattern pieces you should have. You should have 4 pocket pieces. You should have 2 front facings. You should have 1 back facing. You should have 2 pants for the front. And because I can't see my markings, I did cut out notches. I'm just going to put a marking kind of reminding me what pieces those are. And you want to have 2 back pant pieces as well. I'm going to write those down. So you're free to use either pencil or whatever marking tools that you have. Then you will need 2 pieces for your front bodice. I'll mark that down as well. And then 2 pieces for your back bodice. Once you have all your pieces, you can go ahead and serge them if you have a serger. All right, so we will be working with our back pattern pieces. So the back bodice, pin your pieces together, right sides facing, and you can go ahead and sew those. Take your pants back pieces, pin those as well, right sides of your fabric facing together, and you can pin and go and sew those as well. And you can also get your pocket pieces and pin and sew and leave about 1/2 inch of the opening open right there. So 1/2 inch, and then you can just sew around your pocket pieces. Once you've sewn your back bodice piece, we will be attaching our back facing to the V-neck or the V neckline of our back bodice piece. And so try and center it as much as possible. And then once you are done pinning, you can go ahead and sew those down. If you are new to attaching facing, this is a quick shot of me sewing the facing onto the V neckline and just practicing pivoting at the corner or the center of that V. Go ahead and put a small snip on the facing just so it can give that V point a little bit of movement. Now we will be top stitching the area that I'm showing here, just so that the facing kind of stays, you know, like when you're wearing clothing and you have facing and then it starts sticking out. So we want the facing to stay inside the clothing. Moving to our front pieces, take your front facing and attach it right sides of the fabric facing and pin those to the neckline area like so. Now for some reason mine kind of looks short, but I think it's because the serger thread was kind of tight. So no worries if yours are short as well. Just stretch it out and make it work. Make it work. Once you are done pinning your pieces together, you can go ahead and sew those down. And then next we will be attaching our front and our back pieces together. So this is what our sewn area looks like. And remember, whatever you did for the back piece, you will be doing for the front pieces as well. So the facing, you're going to attach the facing and you're going to top stitch. So that's why my pieces look like that, because I top stitched as well. So attach your front bodice pieces to your back bodice piece as I am showing here. And if for any reason your pieces are not matching up, if you find one sleeve is longer than the other, it's okay. I am not anal. I believe in progress and not perfection. So this is not the first time that you're going to make this pattern, I hope. So be kind to yourself, and if you make a mistake, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. All right, so we will go ahead and pin the underarm area as well, and then once that is done, you can go ahead and sew those areas down. So take your back pants piece and we will be attaching our pocket, and there is a spot, a notch for our pocket marking. So right sides facing together, that opening that we left for our pockets, pin that to the marking or the notch that was made for the pocket, and then you can sew that down. Make sure that the pocket is open because you want your hands to go through. So do that for the other side as well, and then sew that down. Moving on to our front pattern pieces, front pants pattern pieces, pin about halfway up the crotch area and you can sew that area down. Once you complete that, this is what it should look like, and we can now attach our front and back pants pieces together. So pin from the top part going to where the pocket kind of starts from, and then I would attach the pocket piece or the pocket flap that was left to the front side of our pants. I hope that makes sense, but just follow what I'm doing over here. So we are attaching the pocket to the front piece. So once you do that, you can go ahead and continue pinning all the way down because that is where you'll be sewing. Again, remember that you want your pocket to be open, so make sure that you don't sew your pocket closed. We can now move to the bottom of our pants, the crotch area. And so just find the center seams for the back and the front, attach those, pin those together nicely centered, and then you can pin the rest of the pants all the way down. Again, if your pants or anything just seems slightly off, like the lengths are slightly off, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Just keep doing what you're doing and make sure everything is aligned, especially from the center to the hem or to the end of the legs, and then we can go from there. All right, we're making progress. So this is what our sewn up pants or bottom looks like. I went ahead and hemmed and pressed my seams, and so everything is looking nice and crisp. This is the bodice part. I also hemmed that part. And so now we will be attaching our bodice to our pants. So find the center seams like this and pin those, and then pin the rest of the bodice and the pants together. Once you're done pinning, this is what your jumpsuit should be looking like. You could go ahead and sew that down. And once you sew that down, this is what it should look like. So the fun part begins. We will be sewing our zipper and our elastic. We will not have a casing. We will be sewing the elastic onto our seam, joining the top and the bottom. So I kind of find the center of the elastic and then just pin it there. And then towards the end, I leave about 1/2 inch and then pin that down like this. And so just evenly spread out your elastic and pin it onto the seams of your jumpsuit so that you can stretch it out like this evenly. Oopsie, my pin came out. Yeah, so you can sew it evenly all through the jumpsuit. I will be using a zigzag stitch to sew this on, but you could use a straight stitch. I just feel a zigzag stitch will be a bit more secure. And so this is how I will be sewing it on. Please use patience or exercise some patience as you are sewing the elastic on. Um, yeah, take your time. And as you are sewing, we want to stretch our elastic out like this, okay? So as I am stretching, and I will stretch from both sides so that it can be evenly spread out. And as I stretch, I will be sewing at the same time. So this might be a little bit challenging, but take your time. Just be patient with yourself. I know you can do it. All right, yay, we did it. This is what it should look like with the elastic on. And so the next part is our zipper. So preferably you want to use an invisible zipper, but because I want you to see what I'm doing, and because I didn't have an invisible zipper, we will be using this normal zipper. So place the end of the zipper right at the edge of your jumpsuit, that where it connects with the facing. And just you can just take a look at what I'm doing and see how to do that. And so pin that down and pin it all the way down to where you probably the center of the crotch area. And so you can go ahead and sew that down after you have finished pinning. Okay, so once you are done that side, you could go ahead and pin and align the zipper nicely on the other side as well, and you can sew that area down too. So this is what our jumpsuit looks like now that we have sewn the zipper on. So next we will be just closing that facing area. So we will fold our facing over like this. And remember the top stitch, you want your top stitch to be folded in as I am showing. And it's okay for the flap, that little piece that you can see over there. It's okay if it extends forward because that kind of helps flatten out the facing like this. So go ahead and pin your facing, and then you can sew that area down as I am showing you here. So this is what your zipper area should look like after you have sewn down the facing. Nice and clean, and it should nicely lay flat. So to further secure our facing, we will just make sure that we sew right at the shoulder, right in the seam, stitching in the ditch so that our facing won't be sticking out. Remember I mentioned like sometimes it'll be sticking out of your clothing. So just to make sure that it doesn't stick out, we will be tucking that in and sewing in the ditch. Just a few stitches and that will be it. And that is the end of the tutorial. I hope you found it easy enough for you to follow along, and I am excited to see what exactly you make
yeah, after following along to this tutorial, if you do happen to make the jumpsuit, please hashtag Lilato Jumpsuit, and I will provide all of that information. You can tag me on all of my social media platforms so that we can see and celebrate and see how cute you look in the jumpsuit. All right, so I will see you in the next video. I am super excited to see what you actually make. Lilato, Lilato. You would think I would pick an easier name, right? Lilato. Wait a minute. Like, what is happening with my edges? Oh, gosh. Focus, focus, focus. All right, let's get into this.